compassion, and traumatic experiences. Compassion comes from being able to see beyond or through a person's behavior. This is not excusing, rationalizing, or minimizing bad behavior, but it is to perceive the person in all her or his dignity, destiny, and sacredness. It is to understand the hurt and pain that drive some of their behavior. It is to observe more than simply the effects of the traumatic experience. It is to see beyond the anxiety, anger, and inadequacy, to notice the person struggling to find their place. Compassion comes through our ability to distinguish our own pain, suffering, fears, and insecurities reflected in the eyes of another human being. Many can be compassionate to a person in grief, but less tolerant to people who express their trauma sequelae through rage and manipulation. Being able to witness the true person beneath the hurt, pain, anger, the fury of distress, dissociate alters, inappropriate attention seeking, substance abuse, self-harm, sexual acting out, and some of the enduring personality disorder traits is a challenge for even the most sensitive and astute of persons. Traumatic experiences changes people's confidence in themselves and the world. The dynamic of trauma occurs at several levels. A compassionate response requires us to understand what happens at these levels. Trauma is usually a response to the perpetration of an act. There is a remarkable similarity in the function of torture in a society, the horror of the methods, and the ways people are co-opted and coerced. Trauma has psychophysical effects on an individual in terms of the relationship between hormones, neural pathways, emotions, memory, and behavior. People process the experience according to how the event impacts on them, how they interpret its significance, how they comprehend their reactions, and how they cope with their responses. Trauma sequelae involve a range of emotions, such as fear and anxiety, grief and loss, anger and rage, guilt and shame, shattering of assumptions, and changed relationships. Each has distinct recovery paths. The recovery is influenced by external supports and personal strengths. Resilience is enhanced by protective factors and undermined by risk factors. The external supports are critical, and a compassionate response is an essential protective factor, an important ingredient in recovery. Survivors of horrible events can have a range of behaviors. Often they behave as a victim when they are fearful, anxious about making decisions, and ineffective, saying, I'm scared this may happen again. Sometimes they will operate as a rescuer where they may be guilty, protective, and overworked to fix things for others, saying, I will save you from having to go through what happened to me. Occasionally, they will act like a perpetrator when they are angry, controlling, and bullying, saying, I'm not going to let it get out of control again. For those who work with survivors, there is a myriad of transference and counter-transference issues. Transference can be a complex dynamic when a needy person engages in testing behaviors, attaches too intensely, and gets angry so often. The patterns of countertransference, re-traumatization, and vicarious trauma affect our ability to be compassionate. Even seasoned workers can move to over-involvement or under-involvement. By over, we can be a crusader, rescuer, advocate. By under, we mean cynical, efficiency, rather than listening. If you like this content, please subscribe to the channel Samo't Sari sa Simula. Thank you.